You ever get one of those emails that's like, Dear Sir, Madam, your long lost cousin from a foreign land left you a fortune. Yeah, the only thing you inherited was malware. And guess what? Phishing is still the number one way attackers break in. If you don't understand email security, you're not just unprepared, you're the bait. But that's why you're here. Because this YouTube series is hands down the best way to study for this kind of thing. You can pause, rewind, replay, binge the whole playlist, and go back over anything that doesn't stick the first time. And here on Cyber Defend Lab, we built an entire SAL1 exam prep playlist specifically for the multiple choice section, so you're not left wandering around the internet hoping to piece things together. And here's a quick heads up. Cyber Defend Lab is not affiliated with TryHackMe. We don't have any secret sauce or insider info on the SAL1 exam. Everything we teach is based on publicly available material and our own experience. This video and our whole series is just here to help you structure your studies and keep you motivated. Again, specifically for the multiple choice part of the exam. So use this as an extra boost, not a replacement for TryHackMe's official content. Cool? All right, let's jump into the real meat of this lesson. If you're prepping for the SAL1 multiple choice section, phishing, email security, and social engineering are absolutely going to be on the exam. So let's break it down in a way a SOC analyst should learn it. The phishing lifecycle, impersonation, typosquatting, and sender spoofing. So first things first, what is phishing? Phishing is when an attacker pretends to be someone you trust to trick you into clicking a link, downloading a file, or giving up sensitive information like login credentials. But more importantly, it's one branch of social engineering, the art of hacking people instead of machines. If malware is a virus, phishing is a con game, straight up. Now, phishing usually follows a simple life cycle. Number one, email is crafted. Number two, deception, whether that's impersonation, typosquatting, or spoofing. Number three, the user clicks. Number four, credential theft or malware delivery. Let's talk about the three main tricks phishers use. Impersonation. This one's straight out of the con artist playbook. You'll see emails that look like they're from your boss, HR, or even your CEO saying something like, Hey, I need you to process this urgent invoice right now. Now imagine you're new, you're eager to impress, and too afraid to double check. Boom, fake invoice is paid. The attacker's gone, and your company just sent money to a fake Nigerian prince. This is called CEO fraud or business email compromise, BEC, and it's everywhere. We're talking billions of dollars in losses every year. And then there's typo squatting. Okay, this one's very clever and honestly evil genius level. You ever see a domain like google.com, but that little, it's not spelled exactly like google.com. It's GOOG capital IE.com. And your brain just assumes it says Google. But that's not a lowercase l. It's a capital I. And guess what? That site could be a clone of the real Google login page. You enter your password, hit enter, and it sends your credentials straight to the attacker. They don't even need to hack you. They just wait for you to hand everything over. This trick is so sneaky. It's like putting a fake ATM in a busy mall and just watching people walk up and give you their bank account information. And finally, there's sender spoofing. This one messes with the email address itself. You get an email that says it's from support@paypal.com, right? But if you open the full header and check the return path, it's actually from scammy at totallynotpaypal.biz. Spoofing tricks your eyes, but headers don't lie. We'll look at headers in a minute, but just remember this. If the from and the return path don't match, be very suspicious. Okay, now we have SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. This is going to be explained like you're at a nightclub, so it's easy to remember. Okay, these acronyms sound scary, but let's make this fun. Imagine your inbox is a VIP nightclub and emails are guests trying to get in. SPF, also known as Sender Policy Framework, SPF is like the bouncer checking the guest list. Is this email coming from a legitimate IP address that's allowed to send on behalf of the domain? If yes, cool, you're in. If no, you get denied at the door. DKIM, domain keys identified mail. DKIM is the wax seal on the envelope. It's a digital signature that proves the message hasn't been tampered with. So if someone messes with the email content after it's sent, DKIM fails. Think of it like if the seal's broken, don't trust it. And then we have DMARC, domain-based message authentication, reporting, and conformance. DMARC is the club manager. They tell the bouncer, SPF, and the seal checker, DKIM, what to do if something looks sketchy. Like if they're not on the list and they don't have the seal, kick them out. Or better yet, report it to the boss. DMARC decides, do we reject the email? Do we quarantine it? Or just let it through but snitch? It's like the final word in email security. Okay, let's jump into email header analysis. All right, now for the real power move, reading email headers. This is what separates the rookies from the analysts. Let's look at how to pull up headers. In Gmail, you can click the three dots. Then you'll see something that says Show Original. Or if you're in Outlook, you go to File, then Properties, then Internet Headers. Once you've got the headers, here's what you look for. Return path. Does it match the from address? SPF, DKIM, DMARC results, usually marked pass or fail. Received from IPs. See where the email actually came from. And then mismatched domains. Does the sending server match the claimed domain? Let's break down a sample email header line by line so you can spot the red flags in seconds. Okay, so here's a sample email header. Just going to scroll through this real quick. And here's the key red flags you're looking for. Return path is bad guy at scammerdomain.com, while from claims to be support at paypal.com. So we go back up here, see the return path is bad guy scammerdomain.com, but it claims that this email is from PayPal Security, support at paypal.com, but the return path does not match it. So that's one of the key red flags. SPF, DKIM, and DMARC all fail. Let's scroll back up here. I highlighted it in red. SPF failed, DKIM failed, and DMARC failed. So that's more red flags. Domain mismatches across return path, from, and message ID. So we're going to take a look at the return path, which we said before is bad guy at scammerdomain.com. Compare that to the from, it's supposed to be support at PayPal, but when we look at the message ID, it says it's bad guy at scammerdomain.com. So those are all mismatched. So, and finally, we have reply to redirects to the scammer. So if we jump back up here, if you happen to click reply to, you're thinking you're replying to support at paypal.com, but if you click the reply, it will go to bad guy at scammerdomain.com. So once again, here's the key red flags. You're looking at the return path is one thing while it claims to be from something else. SPF, DKIM, and DMARC all fail. Then you have domain mismatches across return path, from, and message ID. And then reply to redirects to the scammer. Okay, let's take a look at some real world phishing examples. Let's talk about 3 real phishing emails and break them down. Here's example number 1. Let's say you're logging into Microsoft 365. So this is Microsoft 365 login spoof. It can look legit with perfect branding, but when you hover over the link, it goes to something completely different. So if you're glancing at that really quick, it looks like it says Microsoft-login.com, but it's really M1 or ML instead of the actual I for Microsoft. That's called typo squatted domain. So that's a typo squatted domain. You log in, it captures your credentials, then redirects to the real site so you don't notice. That's a classic move. Example number 2, fake invoice scam that bypassed DMARC. The sender passed SPF but didn't have DKIM. DMARC was set to none, so the spoofed invoice made it to the inbox. The company paid $17,000 to a fake vendor, no joke. Example number 3, COVID-19 vaccine email from WHO, the World Health Organization. It looked like an official alert, but the domain, if you would look at it more closely, would read something different than the actual real domain for the World Health Organization. So let's say you click the link, you would end up downloading malware. They used fear and urgency to trick us. Classic social engineering. Bottom line, phishing isn't going anywhere because people keep clicking, but you won't be one of them. Not after this. Let's be real for a second. Why do most people struggle with this topic? It's not because it's too technical. It's because we've all been trained by school to memorize acronyms, not understand them. So what happens? You cram SPF, DKIM, DMARC the night before the exam, and by the next morning, you're sitting there thinking, wait, which one's the bouncer again? That's problem number 1. Problem number 2, most people skip email headers altogether. Why? Because they look like some kind of alien code. They open that thing and go, nope, not today, Satan. But here's the truth. SOC analysts live and breathe email headers. That's where the smoking gun usually is. If you don't practice reading them, you'll never see the attack unfolding. And problem number 3, they study the attack, not the detection. They'll read 10 blogs on phishing scams, but never once look at how to identify them in headers. It's like watching crime documentaries all day and then being shocked you can't actually solve a murder. Most people look at an email header like it's the Matrix. They see a wall of text and think that they need to be Neo to make sense of it. But here's the thing. The trick isn't seeing the code. It's spotting the cat that glitches twice. You don't need to understand every line. Just know where to look. Mismatched domains, failed SPF, sketchy return path. That's the cat. That's the glitch. Here's the reality. If all you do is read about this stuff, it won't stick. But if you see it on screen, pause, replay, and walk through the logic step by step, now it's yours forever. And that's exactly this YouTube's series. That's exactly this YouTube series and how it crushes every other study method. It's visual, repeatable, and you're not just reading, you're experiencing it. Stick around because up next we're going to break down how to actually learn and retain this stuff, even if tech isn't your first language. All right, let's talk about how to actually learn and retain this stuff so you don't blank on it during the SAL1 exam. Because here's the truth. Most people don't need more content. They need better strategies. Let's break it down into easy, snack-sized chunks. First tip, learn 1 acronym per day. That's it, just 1. On Monday, you master SPF. On Tuesday, DKIM, DKIM. Wednesday, DMARC. And each time, try to explain it back to yourself like you're talking to a friend, or better yet, like you're explaining it to your dog. If your dog tilts its head in confusion, you're doing it right. Next, go to your own spam folder and start pulling up real email headers. Seriously, don't just sit there thinking about phishing, go phishing. Not for victims, but for experience. Open those headers and look for who sent it. What's the return path? Did SPF or DKIM fail? Start treating every junk email like a training exercise. And please use visuals. Draw a diagram of SPF, DKIM, and DMARC like it's a security team outside a club. SPF is the bouncer at the door. DKIM is the wax seal that proves the invite wasn't tampered with. DMARC is the club owner saying, if anything's sketchy, don't let them in. Stick that diagram to your wall. Screenshot it. Make it your phone wallpaper, whatever works. And of course, watch videos like this. Watch videos specifically like this one multiple times. Seriously, this YouTube series is your secret weapon. You can pause, rewind, rewatch real world phishing examples until it finally clicks. You don't need to memorize, just watch until it becomes second nature. So, if you hit a point in this video where you were like, wait, how do I know if the domain is spoofed? Go back, pause, replay. That's the beauty of this platform. Seeing phishing tactics inside an email header, actually seeing it, is like getting X-ray vision. Reading about it in a blog, not so much. But the moment you spot a mismatch between the from field and the return path, boom, you're not just studying, you're hunting. And hey, if you made it this far, you already know more than the average end user, like by a lot. And if you can explain SPF like a nightclub bouncer, you're SAL1 ready. That's not hype, that's facts. You're training your brain to think like a SOC analyst, and you're doing it visually, interactively, and consistently. Up next, I'm going to hype you up with a little motivation and encouragement to help you finish strong. Take a second and really let this sink in. You're doing something most people won't. You're prepping for an elite real-world certification that shows the world you're not just security aware. You're ready to work in a SOC. You're ready to triage alerts, respond to incidents, and detect threats before they become headlines. Every time you learn a new attack method, every time you break down a phishing email, every time you stop to analyze a header instead of skipping it, you're getting one step closer to being the person that stops the attack, not just watches it happen. And look, I get it. This journey's not easy. You've got work, maybe family, life stuff going on, and yet you're here, still watching, still learning, still showing up. That's super powerful. That's what separates people who want this from people who earn it. So here's my promise to you. Keep going. This YouTube series is your study buddy, and we're not going anywhere. I believe in you. This playlist is built for you to come back, and you can come back to whenever you need to refresh or recap or reminder. You've got this, because phishing won't stop, attackers won't stop, threats won't stop. But you know what? Neither will you. And that's exactly what makes you dangerous in the best way possible. If this video helped you get even one step closer to SAL1 success, hit that like button to let us know. Subscribe to Cyber Defend Lab so you don't miss the rest of the series. And drop a comment if you've ever gotten a real phishing example you want us to break down in a future episode. Up next, video number 8, network attacks and exploitation, part one of 2 parts. We're talking DDoS, man in the middle, ARP spoofing, and how to spot them before they ruin your day. You're already ahead of the curve. Just keep hitting play. Let's go. Once again, my name is KD. This is Cyber Defend Lab at Cyber Defend Lab.